Well, I would assume that you're watching this video because you have read my book or are interested in my book, The Stone of Truth. And so that's why this YouTube video is called Understanding the Stone of Truth. The story of the Stone of Truth takes place in a fictional world that I've created. It's a world called Aetherius. The stone is like a large sapphire. It radiates power throughout that entire world and provides stability. It provides togetherness into everything. And there's this evil guy named Erod Moors, and he uses someone else to steal this Stone of Truth. And when the stone is hidden, then a red fog and a darkness begins to spread all over that world. 8 students from Virginia are sent to Aetherius by the teacher to help to recover the Stone of Truth. The students at times give in to the evil one's ideas that the stone doesn't exist, that there's no such thing as absolute truth. However, it's fortunate for them that each of them has been given a small stone which has the qualities of the Stone of Truth. And when they touch the small stone, their minds clear up immediately and they understand truth. Eventually, despite being attacked, captured, and having to face setbacks, they succeed in restoring the stone to its rightful place, and life on Aetherius once again stabilizes. The students return to their own world, and they immediately begin to wonder, how can we ever return to school after an adventure like this has ended? They reach into their pockets and find in each of their pockets a small stone. And with that comes a reminder. Their adventure, instead of being over, has really just begun. Behind the writing of the Stone of Truth is a sobering reality. In our world today, there is an attempt to get rid of absolute truth. When absolute truth is taken away or not believed in, it tears our society apart. Truth, we are told, depends on the person that hears it. We're being told that many truths that have long been held sacred and clearly understood by people are now to be defined by each individual person. There's no absolute truth, we're told. Now, I'm not in the habit of quoting Kurt Cobain, and I don't support his lifestyle and his unfortunate, untimely death. However, there is one statement that Kurt Cobain made that I can't agree with, and it is this: it is the duty of youth to challenge corruption. In order to challenge corruption, one must know truth. Why? Well, because if all truth is relative, corruption can't exist, much less can it be challenged. To challenge corruption, you have to know truth, because it's only truth that exposes corruption. Come on. There's no such thing as absolute truth, is there? Yes. It's easiest to see in math. 4 plus 4 has always been and will always be 8. It will never, ever change. There's no way that 4 plus 4 will ever equal 6. 4 plus 4 cannot and will not equal 7. It will not equal 9. It always equals 8. That's an absolute truth. History is another absolute truth. I don't mean the interpretation of history, but what actually happened. It is an absolute truth. You cannot change what happened. For example, there are some people that do not like the fact that America was founded as a place for Christians to exercise freely their religious beliefs and practices without government involvement or government intrusion. People that don't agree with that attempt to leave God out of history, specifically the history of the United States, because it's not convenient to them. But all I need to do is cite for you a couple of things to prove that it was very important. You ever wonder why the Pledge of Allegiance that we say in the classrooms in school says one nation under God? It also includes the words, on our money, in God we trust. Why is that? It's because that's the way America was founded. The people who believe that truth is not absolute, they do believe that truth is relevant. What does that mean? Well, they believe that truth depends on the person hearing it. I wrote the Stone of Truth so that I could give a fictional picture of what's happening in today's world. Truth does depend on one person, but it's not on the hearer. It depends on the author of truth. And the author of truth is the God mentioned in our Pledge of Allegiance and in whom we trust, and it's written on our money. And just so there's no confusion, the God named in our pledge and on our money is, in fact, the God that Christians worship. This God who was so important to the founders of our country, that he's included in the national pledge and is a statement of our trust in him is on our money, has given us moral commands and institutions in his word that are truth. The stone of truth that gives stability and coherence to our world is the Bible, the book in which he tells us what he expects of us. And although none of us have the original stone of truth, the original copy on which he wrote all these things, we do have, like the students in our story, our own copies. They have a stone they carry in their pockets. Many of us have accessible to us a copy of the Bible. And when we want to know whether something is true or not, it is that copy of the Bible that we can turn to that clears our mind and helps us to see truth. Just like in the story, there is a dark force that's doing everything it can to hide or destroy the absolute truth of God revealed in his word. When the students in the story come back to this world, they discover their adventure of fighting for the truth is not ending. Instead, it is just beginning. They discover that now more than ever, it is the duty of youth to challenge corruption. Will you accept your duty? It is your duty to challenge corruption. To challenge corruption, you must find the truth. The truth is revealed in the never-changing Word of God. I challenge you. Challenge corruption. Know the truth. Thank you.